One of the best parts of playing an MMORPG is the community that comes along with it. Guild Wars 2 has been in service for 9 years now, and during that time, many player-made websites that give useful information about different game modes, achievements, and so on have appeared. In this video, I want to compile a list of every single player-made resource website that exists, and wish to present it as a resource in itself for everyone to be able to locate these websites easily. This means that links to these websites will be in the description, and of course, it's possible that I may have missed some of them. If I have, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will add them to the description accordingly. While the video footage itself won't change, the video description always will be kept up to date with additional sites if they are presented to me. Because of this goal, I ask that you please share this video with others that would be interested in finding out about these player-made websites, whether that be with new players or with veteran players. The more people that are made aware of this list, the better it will be for the accessibility. To make things easier to find, these will be grouped into categories. Those categories are general builds, raids, fractals, PvP, World vs. World, general player guides, achievements, account trackers, game trackers, farming, wiki, and miscellaneous. You will be able to navigate through these sections using the timeline or through using the links to each section in the description. If this video is helpful to you, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell to be notified when my next video is uploaded. Now, since it's gone on long enough, let's get into it. First up, we have the general builds category. These websites are where you will usually be able to find builds for every game mode. The first of which I would like to talk about being Hardstuck.gg. This website belongs to the Hardstuck community, which is a community dedicated to the growth of the game, and provides a welcoming space for new and veteran players alike. If you mouse over the Guild Wars 2 section in the top right, you will see links to several different builds for every class in the game, depending on what parts of the game you want to use them in. The website also links to videos about the game's combat system and UI, providing players with an overall excellent resource for getting help with adjusting to the gameplay flow of Guild Wars 2. And if you want to get involved with the Hardstuck community, you can also travel to the events page, which lists a schedule for its in-game community events, which includes things like tournaments, competitions, and so on. Next up, in the general build category, we have MetaBattle.com. This website is filled with player-submitted builds for every game mode, which members of the community can vote on to determine how effective it is in the current meta. Each build typically comes with a very detailed description about what it is capable of, what alternate gear stats you can choose, and what additional items you can use along with it, depending on the situations you find yourself in. You can find hundreds of player-submitted builds on this website. It gives a good sense of just how much variety Buildcraft has in Guild Wars 2. The website also comes with a plethora of guides for just about any question a player might ask about the game, ranging from which class they should play to guides about how to clear certain raid encounters. Moving on, we have the Fractal category and the website discretize.eu. This website covers all things fractals, including fractal builds, guides on the fractal encounters themselves, and even explanation of the agony system. While the guides for the fractals may be centered around the highest tier of them, they can still be a valuable resource to anyone that's trying to progress through fractals from level 0 all the way to level 100. The website also talks about speedrun strategies for the encounters. But if you're new to fractals, you don't need to try to replicate those. What matters are the mechanics of the fractal encounters themselves. So it's recommended to just learn the mechanics for playing the game if you're new to avoid confusion. In the raid category, first up we have snowcrows.com. Here you can find raid-ready builds tuned for 10-man content, guides for each raid encounter, and even benchmarks that show how each build stacks up against one another when it comes to DPS. When it comes to the builds shown on the site, each one is labeled with what type of role it plays in a team comp and what type of damage it does. They also go into detail about the class and its mechanics, the skill types that it has, and how you can utilize it to its full potential from encounter to encounter. On this site, you can also find links to several raid training communities, which I highly recommend joining as a new player to raids, as getting into them via LFG can be a little difficult because most groups have kill-proof requirements. Because of this, you should 100% join a raid training Discord, so you can get into raiding with players that will be waiting to help you the whole way. Another raiding website is luckynoobs.com. This is a mostly German community that focuses on raid speed clears, fractals, dungeons, and so on. The website has many raiding builds and benchmarks for 10-man content, and also has a page dedicated to world record speedruns for boss kills. There's also a section dedicated to team compositions for raids, and the website comes in both English and German language-wise. In the PvP section, we have godsofpvp.net. This website has many builds on its front page, but they are currently out of date, as the creators said they will no longer be updating them. But they are not the only thing this website has to offer. It also has a plethora of guides for PvP, including for every map that's available in ranked PvP, roles in the game mode, movement around the map, and even on how to equip a PvP build in the first place. These are all useful for new players that are looking to get into the game mode. For the World vs. World section, we have GW2Mists.com. This website is dedicated to World vs. World, and on it you can find builds for roaming, small-scale fights, and large-scale fights. There are also general guides for the game mode, leaderboards to track different guild stats, information on the matchups for the week, and so on. It also contains information about the new alliance system that's coming to World vs. World that will completely rework the way the matchup system works. So if you're looking to learn about that or join an alliance yourself, check out that section. If you're new to World vs. World, I recommend checking out the beginner and World vs. World player guide to get yourself started. And if you want to look into content creators to cover the game mode, the site also links to a bunch of Twitch streamers that stream it. There's also www.intel.com, a website that shows which servers you are up against and what the state of the map is, including things like what towers or camps are owned by you, which ones are on capture cooldown, and what runes are available. You can also find GW2stats.com, where you can see the current matchups for World vs. World and how they are doing against each other in the current skirmish. Moving on to the general player guide category, we have mucklucklabs.com. This website belongs to the ArenaNet partner Muckluck, and also contains video guides for just about any type of content in Guild Wars 2. From fractals to raids to festivals to PvP to legendary crafting. If it exists, it's likely that Muck has, or will at some point, made a video about it, making this website one that covers a very wide variety of topics, which is why I put it in the general player guides category. Next up, we have the achievements category. And starting things off, we have guildgen.com. This website does have a whole bunch of other content on it, including PvP guides and more, but its achievements category is its most extensive by far, having text guides to cover expansions, living world seasons, festival content, and more. Another option for this section is Dolphy.net. And while this website does not get updated anymore, it still has years worth of achievements guides for Guild Wars 2 and other games. And as of my writing of this section of the script, the website is down. So I will also provide the link to an archive site that contains all of the old guides for Guild Wars 2 that were hosted on the site. That archive URL is dolphyreborn.net. Now we'll talk about the websites that can keep track of different details across your account. By plugging your API key into these websites, which you can access by traveling to account.arena.net and traveling to the Applications tab, you become able to monitor your account unlocks and statistics while outside of the game. Note that this does not allow others to access or modify anything on your account. API key is basically a limited read-only mode. Anyways, the first of these sites that I want to talk about is GW2efficiency.com. On this website, you can track a whole plethora of things about your account, including things such as PvP win rate, your material storage items, what gear your characters are wearing, what recipes you've unlocked, your progress towards crafting legendary items, and more. And these are details that only you can see. I personally use this website all the time, especially when trying to find which character of mine has a specific item in their inventory, since I have over 50 characters on my account. Otherwise, I'd have spent a ton of time logging on and off of characters until I find it. There's also immortius.net.au/wardrobe unlock analyzer, or soon to be known as immortius.xyz/wardrobe unlock analyzer. This website allows you to use your API key to view which skins you don't have. It tells you how to get them. Next is GW2AP.com, a website that uses your API key to list what achievements you don't have on your account and how close you are to finishing them. Clicking on the achievements opens up links to the wiki that will tell you more about these achievements. Moving on, let's talk about the game tracker category, where we have GW2timer.com. This is a website that tracks what meta events are going on where, and oftentimes can show you the path the event takes along its journey. It can also show you modding out locations on the map, world boss timers, jumping puzzle areas, and more. It even has a section that allows you to monitor the trading post. Overall, this website is very useful when you're trying to just monitor things in the game while not being logged on. For the farming category, we have fast.farmingcommunity.eu. This website shows you the many different ways you can make money in the game and how they compare to one another in terms of gold per hour, and what kinds of builds you can equip to maximize your farming ability. If you want to learn how to make gold, this website is very much something you can use for that. Now we've reached the wiki category, where we have obviously the Guild Wars 2 wiki. This is where you go to look up information about anything that exists in the game world, the NPCs, events, armor skins, points of interest, or ranger pets. The wiki is one of the best when it comes to MMO genre due to just how much information it contains, and it can even be accessed through the game client itself via the /wiki command. So if you're ever just confused about something in game, just type in /wiki, type in what you're looking for, or you can just ping it in the chat directly by shift clicking on it. It'll bring up the page for you. Finally, we have the miscellaneous category. These are websites that typically fulfill very niche purposes or don't really fit into any of the prior categories. GW2MB is a website that allows you to compose music that you can perform in-game using the instruments players can purchase. GW2.tools is a website that lets you look at your dailies when not logged into the game. GW2crafts.net shows you the fastest and cheapest paths towards leveling and crafting professions. By plugging your API key into it, it accounts for what materials you have and adjusts accordingly. .shaman.com has a variety of applications on it. It has a patch countdown timer, a map that compares to Guild Wars 1 zones to the Guild Wars 2 zones, a cast of Guild Wars 2 minigames to play, data mining, and so on. GW2skills.net is a website that allows you to clear craft builds for PvE, PvP, and World vs. World. It lets you pick your traits, weapons, upgrades, and equipment, and shows you what your stats would be like, what boons and conditions you'll have access to, and more. You could even copy a build link from this site that you can plug into the game itself, making this website into one that's pretty much almost essential for theory crafters out there. Now, I know I said that the last section would be the last section, but hear me out. These websites are not player made, but they are 100% worth keeping in mind when it comes to your pool of resource websites for the game. First, we have the official forums, specifically the section for patch notes. On Tuesdays at 11 AM CST, or other time zones that you can see on screen here, I recommend going to this URL to check and see if there are new patch notes for you to read. If you're interested in class balance, these are where you can usually read every change that they make to the classes on the combat system. It also gives Shimster updates, bug fixes, festival info, and more. Keep your eye on this section if you want to be kept up to date on game changes. And now, finally, we have YouTube. There are so many videos about Guild Wars 2, whether they be about new player perspectives, guides, PvP or World vs. World gameplay, Griffin showcases, or anything else. A lot of these creators are very passionate about the game, and show this through their videos. You'll be able to find a lot of useful and entertaining things here, and in doing so, you can support the creators of the community by watching their videos and posting in the comments. Just like I said at the start, it's all about interaction. If YouTube sees that Guild Wars 2 videos are active, then the algorithm will push them out to more people, and that potentially means more eyes on the game, and more players. And more players is always a good thing. With that said, we've reached the end of this video. Remember, links are down below, and they will be updated with any website that I may have missed. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you next time.